Tomorrow we're heading up to Little Creek Casino for a car show. We do autographs and signings. We make a whole weekend out of it. It's really nice. This year we are taking the SEMA CUDA. It'll be kind of on display in the middle of everything. So before we head up there, I have to get the car detailed. While the paint still looks great for being 2 years old, just kind of freshening it up. We just want to make it look as good as it can, so that way it represents this company well. So I've already wiped the car down, so the surface is already clean. I'll go through and mask up the door jams. Anywhere compound can get, I'll just mask that area off. I'll go through, do just a nice clean polish on it. After that's done, I'll wipe all that down, blow it all off, give it a nice wax job on it, and then while that wax is drying, I'll have Alyssa jump on the interior, just freshening the car up. Hey, look who decided to show up today.
Hey, good morning.
Maybe morning for you. Let's start a little bit sooner.
I'm sure that he's probably gonna give me the crappiest job there is on this car, so I'm prepared for it.
Is your watch break?
No.
Oh.
Okay, so what are we doing?
This is what I would like, would be for you to get the vacuum out the inside, and then clean the glass.
My job is to vacuum the car and to wash the windows, and that's really not that bad. I thought he was gonna hand me a toothbrush and have me clean the underside of it. So far, so good. Okay. Plug-in's over here. Why are you just standing there?
Waiting for you. We have about 2 hours left to get the car wrapped up. Then we're gonna get it over to Dougie to get it loaded up and get it out of here.
Pretty easy to vacuum brand new carpet.
Alyssa and I get along good enough for pictures. So when you look at the pictures, it's like, oh, what a great time you guys had. But in reality, it doesn't always go that well. Here's the thing, I don't want to get you riled up because you're all cracked out on energy drinks and you get ghetto really quick.
Oh my God.
No, but I just...
You know, Will likes to say that I get drunk a lot there just because he's insecure with the fact that he knows he gets drunk there and my dad sees him. I'll drink, I'll say it.
I don't know, I probably won't.
Oh, sure you aren't. Angel Will. You won't catch Will at Little Creek without a drink in his hand.
The only thing you're gonna see in my hand is a cup of water. That's it. Can't speak for her, but that's all you get out of me.
Looks pretty good. Okay.
The car came out great. I didn't have a ton for Alyssa to do because she showed up late, so I kind of had to do most of it. But the paint looks good, the inside looks good. We're ready to hit Little Creek. She's ready to get drunk. It's gonna be a good time.
Okay, so the next step for this car is we're gonna put it in the trailer, then we're gonna hook it up to the rollback, and Doug is gonna tow it up to Little Creek.
We're up in Shelton, Washington right now at the Cruise the Creek Car Show, and it's just such a blast to come up here. We come up every year now. I think this is our 3rd year.
Yeah, it's awesome because we started this like 3 years ago, and we had a lot of fans here, but each year it just doubles in size. So seeing how much love we get on the West Coast is always a good thing.
You know, it's really humbling to see people coming down to meet us and not even to see the cars. I'm still surprised when people walk up to our booth and say, hey, you know, we saw you guys were coming down here and we came by just to see you.
Love the show, love what he's doing. So it's been fun to watch. Been watching since season 1.
Meet.
People are all really nice, you know, they want to talk to you. Everybody here's got a story about a car that they had or that they have.
People get to know you, and they come out and they want to visit with you. They want to tell you about their cars, which is great. That's what I'm here for. So we're going to spend the day walking around, looking at the cars, judging them, interacting with people. So, yeah.
I knew Alyssa and I had to pick a first and a second place paint this year. So you kind of start looking before the crowd gets too hot and heavy. So you kind of just do like a good overview before you actually get in the middle of everything. Right now, I'm gonna grab Alyssa and we are gonna head out to pick out what we feel is the best paint job here at Little Creek Casino. It's gonna go great. I got my sidekick, my partner in crime. We're gonna knock this out the park. Oh, Alyssa and I, we're one. We're like peanut butter and jelly. We're not gonna have any issues. It's gonna go just fine.
Why do you get to drive?
Well, I'm not drinking.
I haven't been drinking. Iced tea, maybe.
Right. Polaris is a blast. You know, I have so much fun in that thing. I love taking it out, but there was not a chance in hell I was gonna Alyssa drive it.
Man, find first gear, let's go. He's only into an automatic. Yes, it started at 6 a.m. though. I wanted to make sure I had enough energy.
You started early, I did.
I did. I'm not a morning person at all.
A couple hours into our day, you know, she was getting a little happier. little more spunky. So I'm sure it was just the nerves were calm finally. I don't know why.
At this point, if you stop, it's bedtime, you know what I'm saying? I've chosen the speed, I gotta keep with it. There's no letting it go now. They're twerking. I should join.
But it's always a challenge.
Woo!
You know, it's constant bickering and picking on each other. I'm what?
You're a joke.
I'm a joke.
I'm just kidding.
I'm a joke.
There's my NASCAR. Man, that is a pretty car.
They were giving us about a half hour to go pick out 2 cars. And like I said, we already kind of had an idea which ones we really liked. It literally took us an hour and a half to try to get through these cars because people are like, hey, right here, take a picture with my car, no matter what the make and model is. So her and I completely got swarmed.
What time you got down here?
He's driving.
Well, he's always to blame.
That's the problem.
Yeah. And I literally think we did everything that everybody asked us to do. So I know we ran over, but I know the end result is all the fans were super happy.
I think I need to turn to drive before we get to park this beast.
I don't trust you driving. You can't drive stick.
Okay, first of all, I'm not gonna kill anybody. Second of all, I'm not gonna ruin anything. So what's the harm? Other than maybe you might get a little scared.
There's a lot of nice cars in that area. She was really thirsty that day. I don't know with what. I just felt it was best that if I did all the driving. We got separated, so I kind of went slow, kind of put it away. Hey, how we are.
As I got a little bit of time after we did all of our signing and things like that, I got a chance to come out and look at the cars, just kind of be left alone and have fun. Now, I've been going a little crazy with the OEM stuff. Everybody knows I'm not abandoning it. I love it. I also love weird, and I also love macabre. One of my favorite cars right here, 62 Pontiac Bonneville Ambulance.
My name's Corey Zamzow. This is my 62 Pontiac Ambulance. I like not the normal stuff. I like to go to a car show and be the only one there with the only thing.
This is so cool. So this guy drug this out of its original home here in Washington. It was a family-owned business, but this car still has the original name on it.
That guy's name was Al Hayden, and he was a truck driver, and he'd get the call or whatever, and his wife would come once in a while, and she was a nurse. You got there as fast as you could, threw him in the back, and hauled ass to wherever you needed to go.
Learn to appreciate your heritage. You learn to appreciate the heritage of the car. So I look around a dashboard like this. I see all the chrome. Back in the day, Pontiac was very proud of that car. So there's a lot of chrome. Well, it's pitted and it's decayed and needs work. All of it's there. The original ashtray is there. You got the original cigarette lighter. This is the dash control panel for all the stuff that you see up there, right? So I flip this switch up, and that's the siren, okay? Look inside, you'll see that there are zipper access points inside, built into the headliner, that actually get you into these up here so you can work on them. All that stuff was thought out ahead of time. This is, again, very, very old stuff. It's all original. If you look at the paint and the body on it, nothing's been done. This is the way it started life way, way back in the day, and it's still around.
I like every kind of car. It doesn't matter what it is. I like anything, but I like weird stuff, and if somebody likes the same stuff I do, that's like cool with me.
This is a treasure trove. Well, it's not a cubic dollar treasure trove. This is the best example of walking back to whatever year it was parked. These were in the car. This multi-trauma dressing kit was in underneath the hatch, 1967. I mean, to drag something out and to find that still inside the car from when it was serviced. This bag has the original burn dressing kits in it from when it was parked the last time. I don't expect anybody to get super stoked like I do, because I love this kind of history. Everybody knows I do, and I know it's not a Mopar, so get over it. It's a neat car, and it's a neat piece of our history, just like so many of these cars. People come up to me in this show all day long saying, I'm not a Mopar guy, I'm a Ford guy, but I love your show, I love what you're doing, you're trying to teach you. It sounds like we're getting the message across to appreciate these cars. Now, a lot of people have done it long before I ever came around. I'm just saying that we're adding our little 2 cents worth. That at the end of the day, I think what we're doing is helping part of our heritage stay alive and keep people passionate about it, like I've been my whole life.
Went as good as to be expected. Beautiful cars out here, tons of people, so we got to stop, do autographs, do pictures, get pictures next to the cars. But I lost my co-pilot, so.
He lost his co-pilot because
Cole?
he left.
Co-pilot.
Co-pilot.
She's not happy right now.
What happened?
Okay, first of all, Will left me. I got out of the car to take pictures for people.
Yeah.
People asked me for pictures, and I was nice enough to stop. And then I look around, and Will's nowhere to be seen. Then we get out here, and I have to find you, and you make me go halfway across the resort. Because you didn't play a little joke like, oh, I'm just kidding, I'm leaving you, let me go around the corner. No. You go the full mile.
The producer called. Our producer called, said you got to get back.
I had to walk here. I hate you.
Hate's a strong word. Don't have hate in your
And I
heart.
mean it, and I mean it. I mean it so much. It'll buff out.
Should've buffed.
That hate will buff out.
Will it?
Anyways,
So we picked a car,
Yeah.
and we're good to go now.
Did we? We picked a car?
The Firebird that I picked was just a gorgeous car. It was very well done, very meticulous. It was a resto mod. It had all the new upgrades in it.
My dad's gonna give you that it's not a Mopar.
I picked a Chevy last year. Just the little details. They got rid of the wipers completely. Now, I get it, but these cars aren't driven in the rain, but it gives it a sleeker look. They got rid of the drip rail gutters that run along the side. Just little details like that they got rid of that just makes the car look really clean. The paint was beautiful, top to bottom. It was just a very sanitary job on that from start to finish on the car. Color always catches my eye, but it's also got to fit the car. Somebody might have a paint job, but if it's on a Pinto, it just doesn't work. So I always like to find a good combination of what's classy, but yet stands out on that vehicle. Yeah, the Firebird was a clear winner. Like I said, it was done great. Alyssa agreed.
Will chose a Firebird. Obviously, I had no choice in that. That was totally a Will choice.
I got to meet the guy that did the car and meet the guy that owned the car. So that was kind of cool to have both guys there, because the guy that restored the car had a car sitting right next to it. But it was cool to meet both of them. Yeah, it's a pretty car. I know, I was looking at it last night from my motel room. Yeah.
I really like the banner between everyone. It's pretty entertaining, that part too.
You have a greater
He's doing it.
responsibility than
He's
you
doing
could
it.
possibly fathom.
We did this
you
last
leap
season.
for Santiago,
in the
and you
same
curse the
thing.
Marines.
We need something new.
We
New
use
movies.
words like honor. What have you done?
Leave him
You've
alone.
killed a fly.
Oh, leave it alone. You told me to sand the lead, though.
Yeah, you want to sand lead, yeah.
But then Ryan told me it causes cancer when you sand it.
It can cause cancer.
We live in a really small town where I really don't. I mean, Will gets recognized a little bit more than I do, but I never get recognized. So coming here and all of a sudden people knowing who you are, it's kind of mind-blowing. And like I said, it really is humbling.
No, I really like Royal. I love Mark. I think he's hilarious. They kind of remind me of each other.
Been something I've been watching since 2012, since the inception of the show. And it's always been so fascinating to see step by step how they go through all the process, and I love the way it's explained what they're doing.
You know, I can't help but think that we're doing a good job at Graveyard Carz, that we're teaching our audience, they're having some entertainment and some fun, they're learning a lot about these cars.
What they can do to a car that they pull out of the weeds is basically gone, and they can bring it back to new. The talent they have for doing that is amazing.
People will come up in their Chevy, Ford, AMC guys, foreign cars. They still watch the show. They watch it because they love learning. They love the techniques that we teach them. They love when I nerd out on all the weird stuff, even though it doesn't mean anything to them. You ever just wish sometimes you could unzip your head and just yard your brain out and put mine in there?
No.
And I think it's just seeing a group of people that are in their zone. I think everybody wants to see somebody specialized and good at what they do. I think that has attributed to our really big success. Especially now in season 10, it's unbelievable how many Mopars are here, how many people are here. It's pretty amazing.
I mean, we're on the grind from a day-to-day basis, and sometimes it can get a little monotonous for us at the shop because we got a lot of pressures, a lot of stuff that needs to be done. But then we get out here and we see how much everybody loves what we do and appreciates it and supports it, and it's kind of a refresher for us.
I don't even, it's really hard to think, being famous, it doesn't compute really. Even still, after 7 years, it's getting, we get to get paid for what we love to do. It's a blast.
It's humbling and it's awkward sometimes, right? There's a lot of people and they're looking for you for answers, and you don't get a lot of time for yourself. But at the end of the day, I enjoy what we have right now. I think that we've been blessed to have what we have, to grow the way we have, and so I'm just enjoying the ride. So we're all back at the shop, ready to start working on cars again. It was a great trip. One of the cars that I did get a chance to check out while I was up there, and I noticed it won a great big trophy at the end, was this beautiful Chrysler convertible. Absolutely gorgeous. One of the funnest things about when I was growing up, when you'd see sketches or drawings of cars in the future, they always look like, you know, space age stuff. So they were trying to make cars back then have that space age look to them, like I guess what they anticipated it was going to be. So when you look at the Chrysler 300, you see the aviation style instrument panel, and that totally looks like it could be in a fighter jet. Taillights are the same way. You take a good close look at those things with I don't know if they look like the exhaust of a jet or something like that, sitting on top of those big beautiful fins. The Continental kit, which is that deck lid where you see the raised up hump that looks like the spare tires right underneath it. Again, a lot of pride, a lot of craftsmanship. Go to the front bumper on that car, the front bumper and the grille. Absolutely a work of art. They're big, they weren't trying to save any money. Look at the steering wheel, kind of an odd shape, right? It's more square than it is round. Probably contour, probably comfort. They've got a switch on the floor right next to the dimmer switch. I think it's just above it. That when you push that, it'll have the radio searching. It starts rolling all on its own as though you're turning a dial. It's actually rolling up and down the log trying to find music, and wherever it stops, you can hit the button again and go past it. So again, creature comforts. The swivel seats. It's not just that they look great, but they look rich. They look like they're really designed to go in a Chrysler Imperial. They pivot, which is a great thing, as I say, you know, if you're a businessman or a lady in a dress trying to get in, that's a great feature. But the fact that they're so padded, so full, so rich, everything on that car, from the front bumper to the rear bumper, just screams quality. It screams beauty. It screams luxury. They were proud of them. They weren't trying to build the cheapest cars the fastest back then. They were building the best car they could because they wanted to beat the competition. They wanted to beat Ford. They wanted to beat Cadillac. And I think when it came to that particular car, they at least gave them a run for the money. Hello ghouls, Mark Warman here, the Ice Tray from Graveyard Carz. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to like it, drop a comment down below, and subscribe to our channel. We have fantastic stuff coming up, and some of it you've never seen before. I gotta go insult people. Hey Alice!